I'm feeling pretty good today. This week has been going surprisingly well. Hey, that's great. Did you do something different? Yeah, I forgot to plan my week. Wait, what? I know, that sounds a bit unhinged coming from my mouth. But the real answer is I finally ran myself into the ground. I see. And that's a good thing? Well, it started last week. Things were pretty rough. It sounds silly, but living in Tokyo, it can feel like everyone around me is achieving maximum productivity and moving at superhuman speeds. Even when I'm at 110% energy output, it feels like I'm barely keeping up most days. So to compensate, I'd basically been scheduling every hour of the day, trying to squeeze as much progress out of myself as possible. And with all that pressure, I was sleeping pretty poorly too, if at all. I'm pretty sure I actually fell asleep sitting up at work one day this week. Yeah, that's definitely a new low. Well, the frustrating part is that I knew it was bad for me while it was happening, but once I was in that deep, it felt like the only option was to keep pushing forward. But then the weekend hit, and I still had this massive list of things I had to catch up on. I love a good weekend after a busy week. But it sounds like you might be doing your weekends wrong? Well, catching up on everything from the week so that I could start the next week fresh was my plan, but my body had different ideas. I crashed hard. I slept something like 13 hours both days if you include naps. By Monday, my schedule was completely wrecked, and I didn't have enough energy to fix it, so I just didn't. I never would have thought of that. And it worked? Yeah, shockingly well, in fact. Somehow, I got all the important stuff done this week. Not everything, definitely not everything. But also, nothing broke. I didn't lose my job. I kept up with my gym and health routines. I had quality time with my partner. And it made me realize something a little uncomfortable. It seems like the important things always get done even when I don't schedule them. That does make you wonder how much of that demanding schedule is actually worth the time you're putting into making it. Exactly. I was filling my days because I thought I needed to. Everyone around me looked busy, and if I didn't schedule myself to the brim, it felt like I wasn't doing enough to keep up. That just sounds exhausting. It is, and it's tied to this deeper thing I've kind of struggled with for my whole life. It's like a fear that if I slow down, I'll prove something terrible about myself. As if deep down, I'm actually genuinely lazy, and at any moment, I could be called to testify in front of the official court of laziness to account for what I did with my day. Ah yes, the court of laziness, certainly intimidating. Definitely real and not a figment of your overworked mind. Terrifying indeed. I was reading Gentle by Courtney Carver this week after Nova recommended it, and Courtney talks about something she calls your authentic pace. Basically the idea that a healthy pace of life might look drastically different from one person to another. I'll admit I resisted the idea at first, but as I read, I started wondering, if there's no court of laziness, then who am I trying so hard to convince? That could be a dangerous question, right? I realized literally no one is coming after me. If I go to work, take care of my body, sleep, show up for my relationships, and I still have an hour or two to read or do a puzzle with my partner, who exactly is going to object? Nobody. And honestly, the people who care about you would probably prefer that version of you. That's the part that really hit me. If I step back and define my life from the perspective of health and connection, prioritizing myself and the people closest to me, then a lot of the stuff I'd been treating as important suddenly just isn't anymore. Or worse, it actively works against me living my best life. Like giving 110% at work and coming home completely empty every day. Yeah. This week, I would say I probably ran at less than half of my usual max busy mode. I slept, I had time in the evenings, I still got enough done to move forward, and I was actually more present with the people I love. So maybe thriving doesn't require constant overdrive for someone who's already naturally diligent and driven like you. It certainly seems that way, doesn't it? After this week, I'm beginning to think that a better way to define my authentic pace is to first stop making it about keeping up with the fastest people I can see around me. They're optimizing for things I don't even know about. Their pace works for their bodies and their lives, but mine doesn't have to match at all. That does sound a lot kinder. Well, I don't think I figured it all out yet, but realizing that nothing is in fact chasing me and slowing down doesn't mean I'm lazy or that I'm not doing my best, that feels big. Yeah, that's quite a find for you. Do you think you'll be able to stick with your new authentic pace after this week? Probably not. You've seen me and my schedules. I'm bound to slip eventually. Well, when that happens, how about we check in and I'll just ask, who set the pace for you this week? Huh, that would actually be a huge help. You're the best. Thanks for talking all this through with me. Anytime. Now go do something radical, like going to bed on time. I truly am living on the edge now. See you tomorrow.